How do you design an offer that the marketplace actually needs? Well, that's exactly what we're going to cover in this video. In this video, we're going to cover the 6-step framework to crafting a no-brainer offer and actually finding service market fit. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, what most people do when they're crafting an offer is they do the exact opposite of what they should do. You see, most people start by choosing what services they want to offer. So they'll say, I'll do Facebook ads or Google ads or TikTok ads or email marketing. Then what they do is they find a niche. They say, okay, I'm going to work with home improvement, right? Or I'm going to work with e-com or coaches. And then what they do is they go ahead and start pitching prospects. But you see, this is completely wrong. This is literally backwards. Instead, you need to do the following. You need to first choose your niche. So who am I working with? Is it local businesses? And then within local, is it home improvement? And then within home improvement, is it a sub niche from there? Maybe roofing, maybe decks, or is it e-commerce? And then within e-commerce, am I working with all e-commerce brands? Or am I working with apparel or cosmetics, so on and so forth? Same thing with coaches. Identify the niche and the sub niche. Step 2 is you need to go ahead and identify the bottlenecks, the inefficiencies, the challenges, the problems that this specific niche that you just chose has. Because you need to understand, okay, these guys are hiring me to solve a problem that they're having in their business. So I need to understand exactly what that problem is so I could actually deliver the results. So choose the niche, then you need to identify the problems or inefficiencies they have in their business. And then, only then, number 3 is you want to go ahead and craft services to solve these problems. So once you've identified the niche, you identified the problems they're having, you're going to know what service to offer because those services are going to go ahead and solve these problems. And most of the times, it's going to be to generate them leads or sales. So based on the problems they're having, you're going to go ahead and either choose Facebook ads or Google ads or maybe multiple platforms, so on and so forth. So you see, this is how you need to do it. Choose a niche, identify bottlenecks and inefficiencies, and then choose the services to offer that are going to go ahead and solve these very problems. And by the way, guys, if you're someone who's sick and tired of watching YouTube videos and you would like to work with me one-on-one, where I'm going to help you do 3 things. Number 1 is I'm going to help you craft an offer that the marketplace actually needs. Number 2, I'll actually go ahead and place the right talent within your agency, whether that be a video editor, graphic designer, media buyer, go high-level specialist. And number 3, I'm going to help you build out up to 6 client acquisition systems. This could be paid ads, email marketing, cold calling, Loom outreach, so on and so forth. If you are someone that is tired of doing this and you want to work one-on-one with me, not buy another traditional SMA course, there's going to be a link down below where you can schedule a call and see if our consulting program is good for you. But nonetheless, going back to the video, here's a 6-step framework. Number 1 is going to be conduct niche research. And over here, what you want to do is you want to identify the pros and the cons of each sub niche. So what do we mean by sub niche? Well, if let's say you're going into home services or you're going into legal or real estate, you need to understand that there are many different sub niches within these niches. So for example, for home improvement, you have HVAC, you have bathroom remodeling, carpet cleaning, carpet installation, decks, flooring, you got roofing, so on and so forth. For legal, you have all types of lawyers. Same thing with real estate. Right? You have all types of real estate, whether they're buyers, whether they're sellers, whether they're brokers, so on and so forth. So you need to identify the pros and cons of each sub niche within the niche that you're going after. And why do you want to do that? Well, the reason you want to do that is because some sub niches are going to be easier to pitch, right? Some are going to have a higher LTV. Some are going to be seasonal. All of these things you need to take into consideration before you say, I'm going to go ahead and work with these people. I'm going to build out my site. I'm going to run ads. I'm going to do all this. It's like, dude, before you do any of that, you need to get clarity on this, okay? Because all of these need to be taken into consideration because it's very, very important. That's number 1, is you're going to conduct niche research from A to Z. Number 2 is you're going to define your target audience. So here you need to get really clear on exactly who your audience is. For both of my agencies, my paid ads agency as well as my consulting agency, I know exactly who my ideal client is all the way to the T. Okay, you need to do the same thing too. So how are you going to do this? You're going to create a doc that highlights exactly what the perfect client would look like. This will give you clarity between who's good and who's bad, who to work with and who not to work with. So the perfect client, imagine this. Imagine if you could ask God, bring me the perfect client. And he'd be like, what kind of client is that? And you just tell him, you write down like this perfect client is going to have minimum this much in ad spend. This perfect client is going to already be doing this much in their business. This perfect client is going to have these certain attributes. Get clear on exactly who your perfect client is, because if you don't even know what you want, how do you expect to get that very thing? Right? You need to get clarity on exactly what you want, because again, this will go ahead and give you clarity as to who's good, who's bad prospect, quote unquote, and who is someone that's actually worth your time working with. So that's number two, is you're going to define your audience. Number three is going to analyze the competition. And over here, you want to identify the competitors that are pitching the same exact prospects. Okay, so let's say you're in the law niche. Who the heck are these other agencies that are pitching the same prospects that you're going after? You need to understand that, because these people are going to be bidding for the same attention that you are trying to get. Here, you want to go ahead and understand what is your point of difference between you and your competitors. So what is the POD, point of difference? So in my example at SF Analytica, my point of difference is that we work exclusively with Muslim/Arab e-commerce and information product brands. So when I am doing outreach, okay, and I am targeting Muslim/Arab e-commerce and information product brands, this is my point of difference. For example, let's say you have Tommy in New York who's pitching the same prospect that I'm pitching. Well, guess what? I'm going to stand out because, one, I work exclusively with these type of people, but then two, I am an Arab and a Muslim myself, and the end consumer, which in this case is going to be the prospects, they're also Arab and Muslims. We share the same values, have the same standards, and most likely speak the same language. So this was my point of difference, something that separated me from the other guys, regardless if they've been in business longer than me or if they are totally crushing it and they're 10 times bigger than me. I still have leverage because I have a point of difference. So you need to understand exactly what your point of difference is. And the only way you're going to do that is by analyzing the competition, understanding who else is out there, and then analyzing how am I different than them? What is my point of difference? And the next step is going to be number four, which is to identify your unique selling points. So what makes you different than others, right? What makes you more unique than others? Why should prospects, in other words, you want to answer the question, why should prospects choose you versus other agencies that are pitching them their same exact service? So in my case, in the example of SF Analytica, we work only with Arab/Muslim e-commerce and information product brands. So that's like our point of difference. But our unique selling points is that, look, you're going to be working, selling your product whose end consumer is Arabs and Muslims. Who better to have run these ads than someone who is also an Arab and a Muslim? This is my unique selling point. It's like I understand your product and your brand better than anyone else because, again, I share the same values and have the same standards and most likely speak the same language that not only you, Mr. Client, has, but also the end consumer who you are trying to sell to. So understand what is your unique selling points. These are my unique selling points. You need to understand exactly what your unique selling points is. And to be honest, you might say, well, I'm not unique. I'm just starting out. You are, dude. You are. You just need to actually do some research, okay? You need to sit down with yourself and figure out, again, do all these steps. If you're not even analyzing the competition, you can't find your unique selling points, right? So understand that you need to do all these things step by step and that you are going to have a point of difference and that you are going to have a unique selling point, at least if you do things the right way. Step 5 is going to be to craft a compelling message. This is your headline that covers exactly what you do and how you can help prospects. Okay, so a compelling message, what you do and how you can help prospects. So again, to use my example at SF Analytica, we help Arab/Muslim brands scale to 7-8 figures using paid ads on all platforms, including email and UGC. So this is our compelling message. Not only are we calling out who exactly we work with, but we're also talking about where we can scale them to. This is a desired outcome for most people. And then we talk about the mechanism, which is paid ads on all platforms, along with email and UGC. This is an amazing message. Imagine if you are an e-commerce brand or information product brand that is Arab and Muslim, and you're trying to scale your business and you see something like this. They're like, okay, these guys work with people like me, Arab and Muslim. They take them to their desired outcome, which is scale them to 6, 7, and even 8 figures. And then they have the mechanism, which is paid ads, email, and UGC. And as a brand, I know I should be doing this, right? So this is a compelling message, which is step 5, craft a compelling message. Step number 6 is going to be to test and refine your USP. As you take your offer to the marketplace and get feedback, you need to refine your point of difference and your USP. So your point of difference and USP, when you start out, you might not have the best point of difference or you might not have the best unique selling proposition. And it's only until you actually get feedback from the marketplace that you'll understand that I need to refine this because the marketplace is not reacting better to this. Or I realized after being in business for a couple of months that I need to change my point of difference or my unique selling points. And to craft a unique selling point, you simply just need to answer this question, which is what makes my product or service better than competitors within this niche? So what makes your product or your services better than competitors within this niche? That's how you're going to craft your unique selling proposition. And that is all the 6 steps. As you can see here, we didn't talk about how much to charge. We didn't talk about what services to offer. We didn't, because all of these things are irrelevant. What you need to do is the actual back end. You need to understand all of these 6 points. And then from here, you're going to know how much to charge, because guess what? You've already would have analyzed your competition. You're going to know exactly who you're going to help because you've already would have did your niche research. You're going to know exactly who your audience is because you're going to define your target audience, right? So you need to do these 6 steps in order to craft a no-brainer offer. How much you charge and the pricing structure that you do is very simple. I can tell you right now, you're going to charge a monthly fee. You could also charge a percentage of revenue. You could just charge a monthly fee and no percentage of revenue, or you could just charge a percentage of revenue straightforward. The pricing is very simple, right? It's like 1 minute you can understand exactly what you want to charge and how much you're going to charge. What's more important is doing this 6-step framework and actually get clarity on the niche, get clarity on your audience, get clarity on the competition, get clarity on your unique selling points, get clarity on crafting a compelling message, and lastly, test and refine your USP. Hope this video is helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.